After a few tough years marked by major losses, declining sales, and delays in electrification projects, Ford seems ready for a fresh start. The year 2025 is about to start strong with a couple of big game-changing novelties that'll get Ford back on track. Ford CEO announces 3 new models for 2025 and wows everybody. Number 3. Ford Ranchero. Driven by the huge success of the Maverick, Ford is eager to expand its pickup lineup even more with another unibody pickup. But this time it'll be even cheaper and even smaller than the Maverick, and to ensure a good starting position, the Blue Oval Company will use a well-known moniker, Ranchero. Older generations remember this nameplate very well because at the time, coupe utes were a thing. It was a frontrunner. A mix of muscle car and pickup with monstrous V8 engines, the old Rancheros were a big thing back in the day. Some of the most exciting vehicles to drive. But suddenly the market lost interest in these vehicles, which were not particularly practical, and the Ranchero was discontinued decades ago. And now it's time for a bit of return, though not exactly in the same form. No, it won't bring the resurrection of the coupe ute body style. Even Australians don't drive them anymore. It'll rather feature typical pickup proportions, only in an even smaller package compared to the Maverick. With compact dimensions, it will have the potential to spread around and cater needs of various customers across the globe, and one of its key qualities will be the price. The new Ranchero won't be some hot ute powered by 8 cylinders. Instead, it will be affordable and therefore simple and straightforward. Some sources speculate about the all-electric version, but for now, combustion engines are the only certain thing. Still, the potential electrification gives us a pretty clear insight into which platform the new Ranchero is going to use. Of course, that would be the C2 architecture, the one that accommodates both combustion and battery electric setups. This means that many parts will be shared with the Maverick, but also with other compact cars based on this platform, including models like the Focus. Don't forget that this pickup is going to be affordable, so borrowing parts from such relatively simple cars makes perfect sense. And that also includes the powertrain. A 1.5-liter 3-cylinder engine seems like a safe pick, while on some markets, even the small 1-liter 3-cylinder unit sounds possible. Of course, a more expensive version would come with something more capable, maybe the same or slightly detuned version of the Maverick's hybrid system, based on a 2.5-liter engine with 191 horsepower and excellent fuel economy. The 2025 Ford Ranchero will feature compact dimensions, and as for the styling, it may borrow some bits from the Maverick, but we may see influences from other sides as well, along with a couple of things exclusive to the small pickup. On the inside, it's clear that simplicity is going to be Ford's North Star in this case, with heavy use of cheap materials and other things that can drastically reduce production costs. This inevitably leads us to the price, which is yet to be disclosed. Still, if we consider that the Maverick has come pretty close to the $30,000 mark, we may presume that the new Ranchero would be priced in the low 20,000s. More will be known as it gets closer to the launch date, as the 2025 Ford Ranchero is about to hit the market sometime next year. Number 2. Ford Taurus. It's been a while since Ford killed the famous nameplate, which was one of America's beloved sedans for more than 3 decades, and now it's time to come back. Ford was convinced that the ongoing crossover mania would kill sedans completely, but hey, Japanese legends like the Accord and Camry are still going strong, so Ford management thought, why wouldn't we get back to the segment and sell the Taurus again? The thing is, the Blue Oval Company never stopped producing this large sedan. It hasn't been selling it in America for a while, but in parts of the world like the Middle East, the Taurus is still part of Ford's regular offer. And that's the model that'll get to North America soon. Introduced 2 years ago, the current generation is fresh enough to compete in this still demanding segment. It looks good, it's comfortable, and it's available with some pretty interesting powertrain options. Compared to the previous Taurus that was sold in the US, this one is smarter, or better said, shorter. But it features a notably longer wheelbase, which, in combination with significantly shorter overhangs, makes the new Taurus look way better than the previous model. The car looks sleek and elegant, while the design language seems nice too, especially that fastback rear end that looks very Mustang-like. Still, we may presume that in order to suit the taste of Americans more, it could come with some alterations, particularly at the front. New headlights, grille design, restyled bumpers, those are just some of the things that come to mind. On the other hand, no changes will come from the inside, and that's because the Middle East market version already looks pretty impressive from the inside. It's spacious and comfortable and wrapped with fine materials, while the massive panel that spans almost the entire dashboard looks very high-techy. A 13.2-inch gauge cluster, a 13.2-inch infotainment screen, plus an optional screen for the passenger. All this look very upscale in a combination with simplistic dashboard and a center console that's mostly clean but utilizes a couple of physical controls, such as a gear selector, electric park brake, and a few more buttons for drive modes and similar things. Finally, a few words about the mechanical aspect of the 2025 Ford Taurus. The sedan rides on the C2 platform, the same one that underpins a variety of US market models including the Escape, Bronco Sport, and even the Mustang Mach-E. In other words, there are many possibilities regarding powertrain. Currently, the Taurus comes in 3 variants. Starting from the base 1.5-liter turbo 4 that puts out around 190 horsepower. The same engine serves as a basis for a hybrid version which benefits from an additional electric motor and CVT gearbox instead of the standard 8-speed automatic with a combined output of 205 horsepower. Finally, there's the range-topping 2-liter turbo 4 with around 250 horsepower. The 2025 Ford Taurus is expected to hit the US market next year, and when it comes to price, we presume it would be in line with key players in the segment, more specifically the Camry and the Accord. Which means base version should cost somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000. Number 1. Ford Capri. Ford continues to turn passenger cars into crossovers. After the Mustang, Puma, and Maverick, here's another famous name from the past that's getting a new form. And if you're from this side of the Atlantic, this name probably doesn't mean much to you, but in Europe, this model has the same kind of impact as the Mustang had in America. It was a sports car adapted to the needs of customers from the old continent, smaller and more efficient than the iconic pony. And now, the correlation is quite the same. Just like how the Mustang turned into an electric crossover, the new Capri was revived to serve the cause of electrification. Once again, it's smaller and cheaper, and once again, it's primarily designed for Europeans, though officials don't exclude the possibility of seeing it in North America in the future as well. Anyway, the Capri is no longer a coupe. It's a coupe crossover now. The odd body style that's been getting more and more fans lately. A sloping roof in combination with increased ground clearance seems to work these days and promises strong sales numbers, but if we put the aesthetics aside, the new Capri isn't exactly like a Ford. No, just like the European market all-electric crossover, this is rather a Volkswagen-based EV. Just like the new Explorer, the new Capri shares most of its parts with the ID.4, but even though it features the same wheelbase as its more conservative sibling, it is 6 inches longer. This means that despite the sloping roof, the new Capri doesn't sacrifice practicality. Moreover, its cargo area is good for about 20 cubic feet or 53 with the rear seats down, which is more than the all-electric Explorer offers. The rest of the cabin is largely the same as in the Explorer, and that includes the massive portrait-style 14.6-inch infotainment screen as well, with the same hidden storage compartment located behind. As for the drivetrain, base models will feature just one rear-mounted electric motor with a respectable 282 horsepower and 402 pound-feet of torque, plenty enough to hit 60 in a little bit over 6 seconds. If that's not hot enough for you, the dual-motor version is there too, with 335 horsepower and 501 pound-feet of torque. It's quicker than the base versions, but also with a slightly shorter range, 368 compared up to 390 miles of the single-motor version. Both variants feature a 135 kilowatt charging rate, so you should be able to get from 10 to 80% of the battery in about, 25 minutes. The price has already been announced, and base versions will be available at around 52,000 euros, which would be a bit over $56,000 according to the current tax rates. Sales are about to start soon, while the US market version is yet to be confirmed. Thanks for watching and see you next time.